Just found out my wife is cheating on me. I'm really confused on what to do. My wife and I have been together for nearly 10 years. We've been married 5 years and have 2 beautiful girls, 5 and 7. I make a great living, 6 figures, in IT engineering, enough so my wife does not have to work. We have a 6-bedroom house with a yard and swing set in the back. My wife's mother and 15-year-old sister live with us and I have been supporting them as well for over 2 years. Over the past few years my wife and I were starting to have a lot of issues and our relationship was dissolving. I could see it happening, so I convinced my wife to go to marriage counseling with me. We've been going nearly every week since April. Neither of us was happy and counseling really opened my eyes to our destructive behaviors. I was working on becoming a better husband and father and I thought my wife was working too. In October I went away for a few weeks on business and was tipped off by a friend that my wife was spending a lot of time with a particular guy. I had met this guy once in the past and was told he was a friend of my wife's friends and that was about it. Needless to say I was on the next flight back home. That night when my wife picked me up from the airport she seemed distant and unexcited to see me. I had not said anything to her as to why I really had come back, just that I had missed her and the kids. When we got home she immediately went to bed. I stayed up for a little while and when she was asleep I grabbed her phone. FYI, when your spouse starts keeping their phone on them all the time even when they are sleeping or in the shower, they are hiding something. I found the guy's name and pulled up the text messages. She had erased them all. A quick glance at the cell phone record showed over 20 text messages to him a day. I woke her up and asked her to explain this. She denied everything. Said they were just friends and she deleted them because she knew I would take it the wrong way. My suspicions grow larger every day and I begin closely monitoring her cell phone records. It grows too much for me to bear and I tell her that she needs to stop all communication with him. I even confront the guy, civilly, at his home and ask him to respectfully stop talking to my wife. He agrees to stop. My wife begins to hold resentment towards me because she feels I have broken up this perfectly acceptable friendship she has with him. She does however seem to stop texting and talking to the guy. I do however notice a sudden surge in her data usage from the phone which I identified as Facebook messaging. She clings to her phone ever closer now and constantly denies any communication with the guy. I begin feeling paranoid and decide to put it behind me and focus on being a better husband and father. I start listening, helping more with the kids, being more involved with their daily activities, not stressing as much about money and other minor issues. I start doing my own laundry and the kids just to help out. I start trying to be involved with what's important to her and what she's passionate about. She loves horses. I bought her a horse a few years back, and I help her try to find a job in the industry so she can get out more and have self-worth. It's now January 15th and we go out for big dinner to celebrate her brother's birthday. All of her cousins and friends are there and we have a great dinner. Most everyone, including her, go to the bar next door after dinner. I was hanging back in the restaurant with one of her cousins when the manager approached me with her phone asking if I knew who it belonged to. It was my wife's phone and I opened up her Facebook app to find a bunch of messages between them. She says how much she loves him and misses him. How she misses the smell of him on her jacket and how she'll never take it off. She also refers to him as my one and only. The messages just get worse and I can't take any more. Her cousin reads the messages as well and also in shock. After confronting her and reading through all the messages, she admits to me that she had feelings for him but insists that they never had physical contact. She claims that they only kissed on 2 occasions. I tell her that I can't believe her and that I don't trust a word she says. I truly believe they didn't have physical intimacy but I won't tell her that. She tells me that she was with him because of me and the years of neglect I gave her. I feel like my world is collapsing around me. I feel betrayed, furious and foolish all at once. I don't want to get a divorce. But I don't want to be married to someone that doesn't love me. She says she wants to work through this but I don't know what I want yet. I feel like she is yearning to find her individuality and wants to prove that she doesn't need me. I love her and find it difficult to be angry. But I feel that the only way she'll appreciate what she has is by losing it, or at least some of it. What should I do? Edit, thank you for all the advice, this has been really helpful for me. I just wanted to give you an update of what I have put into motion since this has all happened. I spoke with a lawyer last week. He gave me some great advice. At the time I was staying with a friend and he told me I needed to go back home. In my state there is an abandonment clause and she could say I deserted her and the kids. So I'm back home. Sleeping in the basement. He also told me I have enough evidence to prove she committed adultery and because of that I may not have to pay her alimony. Child support obviously yes, but not a penny more. He did also tell me whatever I do, don't have physical intimacy with her. If I do, I'm condoning the affair and have no grounds to say she committed adultery. He told me that he advises his women clients to try and get in their husband's pants if they cheated on him. I have opened up a new checking account in my name to protect my assets and have already changed my direct deposit to this account. I canceled all of our joint credit cards and enabled fraud and credit monitoring. I spoke with a realtor last week and will be putting my house on the market next month. I told my wife's mother and sister they will have to sort out a place for themselves after I have sold the house. On another note, my wife did go out and find a job. She's working for her uncle's moving company making jack, but I hope she can now appreciate what a hard day's work feels like. I'm sure it was in response to the fact that I told her I wouldn't be paying for the boarding or feed of her horse anymore. That and when I canceled her gas card. I had bought her a Lexus GX 470 and I can tell you it isn't cheap filling that sucker up. As far as the kids go, I'm doing my best to minimize the impact on them. I won't argue or fight around them and I make sure they are well taken care of. I think the best thing I have gotten out of this is knowing that it is not my fault and that it is her that needs to try hardest to fix things. Thanks. Of course she wants to work through this. She and her whole freaking family are dependent on you. She did this to you while in counseling to work on your relationship. If she was actually upset about the years of neglect, and actually wanted to work on her issues, she would have brought it up in session in a productive way instead of running to someone else's arms. She did it because she is selfish and cold, and it's disgusting that she tried to pin the blame on you by citing your neglect. If she truly wanted to take responsibility for her actions, she would have admitted she was in the wrong. Instead, she's trying to make it your fault. Ouch. I'm sorry to hear that. These decisions can become so difficult when children and considerable assets are on the line. With her not working, that puts you in a very vulnerable position. Can't really recommend therapy. You tried that and that sure as hell didn't work. The way I look at it, you suspect she has a guy on the side, behind your back. Confronted, she lied, denying it. Gets caught in the lie and agrees to cut ties. Gets caught again in that lie and proceeds to put all the blame on you, trying to justify her actions. Whether you neglected her or not, relationships are a two-way street. Putting all the blame on you is a cop-out. She ultimately made the decision to stray, and what is worse, she messaged him saying she loved the guy. Emotional cheating can be as bad as physical. Just because she may not have had physical contact, doesn't make it okay. It is still a breach of trust. And the fact that she can justify it to herself by putting the blame exclusively on you, that's a pretty big red flag. Personally, for me, the trust is gone. She was deceitful and lied, got caught and tried to lie her way out of the lie. Trust for me is huge. Once it's gone, you can't get it back. There will always be that nagging doubt in the back of your mind. No amount of money or assets can replace trust. But that's just me. Good luck.